Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have Serena Brown Travis with me. I'm so excited. So, Serena, please introduce yourself.
Hi, well, first of all, let me thank you for being on your platform. My name is Serena Brown Travis. We have talked because we have a mutual mentor, Robert J. Moore, but more importantly, I'm an author, a mother, a wife, and a lot of people are always thrilled to know that I'm the youngest daughter of the legendary motivational speaker, Les Brown.
Yes, and I wonder what that was like growing up with Les Brown. I'm sure you've only heard that same question a billion times, but I'm going to have to ask it.
No worries. Well, yes, that is always our number one question. And the truth of the matter is, of course, when you're in it, you don't know. So I never knew that was popular. I never knew why people are always around us. It was very normal, a normal way of living, that we go out to eat and all of a sudden there's like 10 people surrounded by us, or dad is on the stage. But what I will say, especially now that I am an adult, my father was very intentional about how we spoke about ourselves and our languaging. So a lot of times, we would, it's common knowledge to say, oh, I did an awful job, or I can't do it. He would never let us say anything negative about ourselves. And when we did, it was a big deal. And he would say, cancel, cancel, cancel. Talk positively at all times. If you can't do something, call it, I'm having a challenge, and ask for help. So that was life growing up. Everything was always positive, optimistic. We had to always shoot for the moon, as he would say. And so that was life growing up. So even now for my children, I am very cautious about how they speak over themselves. So, I mean, it was a fun life. It's an exhilarating life. Of course, sometimes going out to eat is not always fun because we have a lot of people surround us. But nonetheless, I'm certainly proud of my father and the work that he has done and the impact he has had on the world.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. And it's a little bit like you said, in one way, it's just natural because that's how you grew up. But I'm wondering in another way, did you feel like kind of overlooked in any kind of sense? Did you feel like, you couldn't be you, or did you feel like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, was that hard for you, or was that just, no, I'm good? What was that like for you?
Well, number one, that's a great question. Actually, a brave question for me to answer. So the fact of the matter is, sometimes just in all of our family situations, we assume roles without anyone telling us to take the role. So as my siblings, we always, it was almost like an unspoken rule that we'll just support dad. That's it. That's all. So when we're on the road, I need no limelight. I am of quote unquote no major value to what's going on, and so I'll set up in the back, I'll hand out papers, I'll carry dad's bags. And so interesting how we ourselves put ourselves in different roles. I mean, we put ourselves in the back of the room, and it was actually a chapter I had to write for one of our mentors, Robert J. Moore, that I wrote. I took myself to the back of the room. No one told me to go there. I went on my own. So I never felt, of course, my father would definitely say, oh, come on, baby, I need you to speak. I need you to write. I need you to do this curriculum. And so we did those things. He never asked us to go to the back of the room. He never asked us to shrink ourselves for him. Unfortunately, many of my siblings, in many aspects of our life, we did. And so now we are finally saying, wait a minute, we did this to ourselves. Kind of like how any of us, we have a dream, we have a goal we want to conquer, and then we immediately talk ourselves out of it. No one told you to talk yourself out of it, but you just did it. So thankfully, now I'm in a position that I'm seeing my own talents, I'm seeing my own value, my own worth, and I'm stepping into that. But yes, that is I guess that is the downside again of being around someone who's so big that you just go, hey, you're not here for me, you're here for that guy over there.
Yeah. And you know what? Just in general, I think we all assume roles in the family, regardless of, what, your mom or dad do for a living. right? We all assume roles, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's just based on how we grew up, what we've seen, and and then we just take on that role. And that's a really good point that you said. Really, really good point. And I know maybe part of this, and I'm going to talk about something else, your children's book, you're a children's author, best-selling children's author. Like, that's just amazing. I'm sure that there has been some kind of driving force from your experience to want to do this. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, with my father being the world's #1 motivational speaker, we have seen and heard all kinds of stories on the road. Something hit me when I had my own children, that we're reading books that they're all positive, which is a good thing. However, they also did not reflect real life for some children. So unfortunately, for many of our youth, they are experiencing heartache, strife, hunger, abuse, abandonment, all of those things. Books, children's books, have not found, in my opinion, and from what I researched, they have not found a way to take a child where they are and then say, hey, life gets better. If you are feeling abandoned, okay, life gets better. And so I wanted to find books, I wanted to create books and write books that could allow a child to see themselves in the book and say, hey, you know what? I've been bullied before. I've gone to bed hungry before. I don't feel well. I feel abandoned by my parents, because we assume that everyone has a mom and dad and grandma on the opposite side of town who's making pies. That may not be the case. Some children don't know mom or dad, or sometimes mom and dad have misbehaved, or maybe they're hooked on drugs, or, incarcerated for whatever reason. And grandma may not be any help at all. And so I wanted to do that type of book, that type of writing, that of unconventional families, unconventional situations, that someone can still persevere in spite of what's going on in their life. And if the adults that my father works with, if they need motivation, then what do we think children need?
Oh, for sure. That they're like sponges, right?
Absolutely. And I think And children are resilient, so that's always a great thing. They always find a reason to laugh. That's a great thing. There are times they need a little more help and a little more push. And if everything around them is negative, then children are only going to be reflective of what they see. And so that's why, unfortunately, we have suicide rates that are rising among 10-year-olds. At 10, I was, still riding a bike and, on a swing set. So I can't imagine losing hope and optimism at the age of 10 that will want me to take my own life. But unfortunately, these aren't isolated incidents. This is a problem worldwide, globally, that we have to address. We cannot ignore and assume that children are going to find a way to just magically be happy.
That's amazing. It's touching what you're doing, and I really believe in that too. I mean, we all come from different backgrounds, some worse, better than others, but really it's self-esteem at the end of the day, right? Whatever self-esteem is developed in that individual can really just change the rest of their life, right? That self-belief, and I think what you're doing is amazing. And what age group? I mean, I know you said youth. I think you mentioned youth. Your books are from what age to what age typically?
Yeah. So I actually have a series, and the series actually starts when you're about 3 or 4 years old for mom, dad, teacher to open up. So actually, this book right here, in case I forget to tell you, which happens to be right behind me, it's a very simple book, but it's a book that edifies, compliments, and helps a child every day to say, hey, in case I forget to tell you, you're special. In case I forget to tell you, I love the way you make me feel, and I love your smile. I wrote that book based on the idea that I was that mom. I was going from practice to practice, dance class, gymnastics, all of that, ballet. And it hit me when I watched my daughters get out the car, and I'm like, hurry up, we have homework, we have this, and come back in the car. And then it hit me, did I tell them how beautiful they were today? Did I tell them how much I love you? And so that's how the book came about. In case I forget to tell you, you are special to me. And so sometimes, even as parents, prior to COVID or even post-COVID, we have to slow down long enough to even just compliment our children and let them know what they mean to us daily, not just every now and again, not just on birthday cards and what I mean daily, so that children know, listen, I'm special. I've got to go home in one piece. I can't participate in bullying or messing something up or graffiti or anything, because I am special. I have a purpose on my life, and because I have a purpose, I can't participate with everything. And so that is the whole premise of the book. And I've heard a lot of parents say, I didn't realize I was that busy that I forgot to tell my children how much they meant to me.
Wow. Yeah. I think I overdo it with my son. He's like, yeah, okay, already. You're treating me like I'm 5 years old. And
No.
Sorry, but I love you. I'm sorry.
Right. No,
I just love you.
Yeah, and there's never overdoing, and that's the thing. The world can be, as we know, the world can be so tough, and so you are creating him to have thick skin when it comes to, so when someone does bully him or attempt to bully him, he may just go, what's wrong with you?
Right,
my mama loves me, So I can appreciate your strategy and how much you're building him up, because by the time something does come, he won't even be aware, like, oh, are you bullying me? I had no idea. And it will mean nothing to him, because you have already built him up in such a way.
And I think too, people, kids and teens become more comfortable and they just start opening up to you. There isn't that, oh, well, I can't talk to my mom or I can't talk to my dad situation based on how you're treating them. Like you said, day to day, right?
Right.
All day to day. That's awesome. And so, I mean, since we're on this topic, I wanted to just kind of end off and ask, what if a young person really very talented, very a great person, just doesn't know what they want to do in life? They have no idea, right? What would you tell them? How would you, I know it's a strange question, but how would you guide them if they really just don't know what they want?
Well, the first thing I would do is to tell the young person or ask them to reflect on their life and to look at the things that keep coming up for them. So for instance, are you a fixer? Do people always come to you for advice? Do people always ask you, hey, can you help me figure this problem out? So look at the reoccurring themes that continue to come into your life. Look at what you're good at that maybe you don't even realize that you're good at, but maybe your teacher and then your parents, and someone says, hey, can you fix this for me? So if you're a fixer, if you're a great communicator, if you're someone that people come to for advice, if you look at the reoccurring themes that come in your life that you may not be looking for, those are then maybe some of the avenues that you may want to look at and go, maybe there's something here. I didn't realize I was good at giving advice. Perhaps I should pursue a degree in college, a degree in psychology. Or if people always come to me with a boo-boo, hey, can you touch my arm? It hurts. Well, maybe I need to go to nursing school.
Get into medicine.
So, yeah. So you have to look, in my opinion, you look at the things that keep coming your way time and time and time again. So in my case, because of my father, I was just kind of like, hey, I'll support him. And of course I realized, wait a minute, I'm put on this earth for a purpose myself. And that purpose may be to support my father, but it also may be for me to realize some greatness within myself. People always came to me to write their papers, to write, hey, can you be my ghostwriter? Hey, can you help me edit my paper? So with that being said, I had to sit back and look at what kept coming to me. And writing was one of those things. So again, with the help of mentors and people who really poured into me individually, now I'm able to step into some of my true talents that have been lying there for a long time. I didn't have to go to school to write. I just love writing. I love reading, of course. So you get inspired by reading, you get inspired by everyday life, and then I just pursued it.
That's amazing. Well, look, Serena, I really appreciated your time today. And thanks. I hope we could do this again.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. If I could quickly say this, I appreciate you and everything you do. I know that you are an expert in cold calling, and I'll say, I've listened to your podcast and your YouTube channel. You're far more motivational to me. So when you're doing your strategies on cold calling, which I appreciate, these strategies of not giving up, of pushing ahead and not being discouraged, those were phenomenal concepts. So I appreciate everything that you bring to this industry, to your channel, and to everyone who's listening. You are certainly an inspiration to all.
Thank you so, so much.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.